Join Trudy and me and the trusty crew of Virtual Tarot as we take to the road on our first big adventure tour to what is known as the great spiritual mecca of southeastern United States. We're headed out to what is known as CASSADAGA Lakes Free Association, located in the heart of Florida, in a small town called CASSADAGA. The road trip was so much fun as we talked about this incredible spiritual community and its long history and significance for the exploration of the feminine divine. This incredible community of spiritualists literally started in a few tents in 1879 and soon became a small village. A post office was established in the area on June 27, 1888. There is such an abundance of energy here. This is a beautiful, small, religious community filled with caring, friendly spiritualists who have a loving respect for life, for others, and for the infinite spirit, and who believe that life continues after the death of the physical. The history of free thinkers in the area began long before the founding date. We arrived eager and excited to explore the town, to see what we could find, and talk with the people. But first, we had to settle into our separate lodgings. Trudy and I decided to stay at a beautiful bed and breakfast called the Ann Stevens. Aaron and Michael stayed in the CASSADAGA Hotel and Spiritual Center. We were all very hungry after our long trip, so we ate that evening at the Frank Sinatra restaurant in the CASSADAGA Hotel and Spiritual Center. This hotel had a definite Victorian spookiness about it. But everyone we met seemed to be human, we thought. Aaron even got to play the piano in the restaurant as we ate and planned out our adventure for the next day. After dinner, we walked the streets of CASSADAGA, eager to see the layout of the town and to absorb the tremendous energy we were feeling from the place, which apparently is built on a vortex. There were groups of people walking around in the streets with high-tech ghost-busting equipment, and we marveled at the sheer number of signs for psychic readings and medium sessions on practically every house. We were literally dancing in the streets with the excitement and thrill of being with our homies, as Trudy put it. Totally exhausted, we turned into our respective hotels, eager for the next day's adventures. The next day, bright and early, we all assembled and had breakfast in our very elegant Victorian-style bed and breakfast. The owner was very kind, and she treated us to the history of CASSADAGA and to the history of the Ann Stevens bed and breakfast. She told us a few ghost stories about the hotel, which we found very fascinating, but we thought nothing of it, and we were sure her stories were only meant to entertain the guests. We were to learn later that day that she was very much in earnest. So we headed out to get a reading immediately after breakfast. And, having been warned by our landlady that directly across the street from the CASSADAGA Hotel was the actual dividing line between the licensed psychics and the rogue, unlicensed psychics. We, of course, went immediately to the rogue side of the street. And the four of us received a group psychic reading, which we found very interesting. In fact, we talked about the reading the rest of the trip. But Trudy and I also received separate readings from a licensed medium on the good side of the street. But both readings revealed information that was pertinent and interesting. Then we had to get to work. We had to set up our studio in the bedroom of our hotel, where we decided to do the readings from the bed. It was during the Scorpio reading that we had our own personal encounter with a ghost. It was so thrilling that the hair on the back of our necks stood up. We could barely get through the reading. It was so exciting. After the readings, we had to pack up and leave. But all in all, it was a marvelous trip. And we were all very sad to leave, but happy to know that such a magical place existed in such an unlikely location and not too far away to come back again and again. We hope that we've inspired you to visit this wonderful mecca of spiritualism and ghosts, CASSADAGA, Florida.